Are you ready?
Join on the corner where the big boys play.
Hey, and how is it going, you people, you cool people, you fun people out in StreamYard land? I am Kevin Kolbe, and this is Wednesday, so that means it's Ask StreamYard. Sorry, my monitor. Oh, there we go. This is a show we do every week. I rotate with Melanie, who will be here next week, and we talk about things that you've asked about. Now, today isn't necessarily a question that came to us from any one specific person, but I say that to say, if you ever have a question that you would like maybe featured on the show, Ask StreamYard, make sure you use the hashtag Ask StreamYard and then ask it anywhere. Social media, Facebook group. By the way, if you're not in the Facebook group, woo, it's a hopping place. See what I did there? And you ought to be a part of it. You can ask questions. You can learn from a lot of folks. Definitely, though, if you ever have a question you would like featured on Ask StreamYard, all you have to do is ask it. Make sure you use the hashtag Ask StreamYard. And if we feature it, you'll get some StreamYard swag, like maybe a shirt like this. If I get out of the way, you can see it. Look at that. It's like puddles. He's kind of dancing. So my name is Kevin Kolbe, though, and I am so glad you are here. Let me know where you're watching from on this fine day. Already see some folks in the house. We see Manya from India. Whoa. Augustin, is that right? Here, let me throw it. There we go. From India. Wow, that is really, really cool. We got Augustin from Santa Cruz, Bolivia. Very, very cool. And we've got Jesus from Houston, Texas. Is it hot down there? Who else we got here? We got Emily from Nebraska and Scott checking in from Ohio. And now Carrie is saying, hey, I've been wondering about this. Thank you. Well, Carrie, this is the show for you then. We'll just, I'll be talking to you the whole time and a lot of other people. All right. Who else we have here? We have Alfredo from Marbella in Spain. Wow, that is really cool. And we got Lance checking in from the UK. Here we go. If you were watching last week, there's certain things about British and Australian accents I just immediately launch into, and I can't do either one very well. Who else we got here? We got Peter from Australia. What's up, mate? Don't judge me. We got, is that Woalan from the Philippines? Good to see you there. And look at this. We got Juma, I believe it is, from Trinidad and Tobago. That is really cool. Kentucky's in the house. And we got Dimebag from Vancouver. Good to see all you guys here today. We're going to have a good show. Hopefully you're going to enjoy it. And today we're really talking about mic placement. I'm going to call it some of the best tips. Is that arrogant? Is that arrogant? Let me know in the comments. Is it bad if I say best tips? I think there are a lot of tips. How about that? But they're going to be tips that you can use for mic placement when it comes to live streaming. And I have my own preferences. I've been doing this for a long time, but anytime if you have a question too about today's topic, anything we're talking about, just use ask. Hashtag ask, and then ask the question in there if that's not confusing enough. And that way, as I'm going through the comments, I can quickly look and say, oh, there's somebody that's got a comment. You can ask me about my mics and stuff like that. But today we're really going to be talking more about this here topic, mic placement for better audio. So if I were to ask you a question, you may already know the answer. What is the most important part of video? In fact, let me ask you that. Let me know in the comments what you think is the most important part of video. Doesn't matter whether you're live streaming, even though we're talking about live streaming. Doesn't matter whether you're live streaming or produced. What do you think is the best or is the most important part of video? And this is kind of a trick question. I don't know. Is it? Because people will say, well, what's the best camera and what's the best lens and what's the best lighting and what's the best background? And by the way, I also do a lot of other videos for StreamYard, and we just released one today on how to get that blurry background, that bokeh or bokeh, however you want to say it. I say blurry background. It's just easier. Make sure you check that out. So yeah, people are saying, Emily is saying sound. Yep. Audio is the most important. Audio, then content. I agree with that. Somebody said the story is the sound. They add more layouts. Okay. And they got to hear you. And then, yes. So believe it or not, and I agree. I mean, the story is important. Content's important. But the most important part of video, hands down, is audio. Think about you. You may put up with some really bad video. I mean, whether it's 9:16 shot when somebody's running on their phone, it's never been edited and color corrected, but you'll watch it if it's engaging or entertaining, right? But if you can't hear the person, you're probably not going to watch. Now, I think this really comes into play if you're trying to learn something, right? I mean, if you're on YouTube, and I realize now we are live on Facebook and LinkedIn and Periscope. Is that still a thing? And YouTube. But if you're really like on YouTube looking for something, let's say you're looking for, how to change a ceiling fan, right? I have to keep mine on in my office just because it's so hot. But if you're looking for that and you find this video and you can't hear the person, you're probably going to move on. So that's why we say sound is the most important. And by the way, if you have any questions about what we're talking about today, a little bit more about mic placement and some tips, make sure you ask away. Let me ask you if you remember this. Now, some of I don't know. I know we've got people watching from around the world, but this was a huge ad campaign for a cellular service that I will go unnamed because they're not sponsoring the show. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? And let me know. Do you remember this campaign? It was huge. And it was about bad cell phone service. Well, true story, even though it's about cell phones. So I had two service guys at our house today, one dealing with some bugs and one dealing with air conditioning because my office is upstairs and it's just like crazy. It's been crazy hot in here. And the tech calls me and says, hey, this, and it's about 10 minutes. That's all I heard. I gathered from it, he was on his way and be here in 10 minutes. But, if you think of the old commercial about can you hear me now, what they were selling was good service so you could hear the other person. Well, that kind of works out today because we're talking about mic placement for better audio. Now, I've got a lot of different tips I'm going to share with you today, 4 or 5, I can't remember exactly. And I'm going to show you my second shot here. I'll show you in a minute a preview of some of the mic. Hello, how are you? Some of the mic placements to give you an idea. So let's just jump into it. And again, if you have any questions, now if you have any questions about StreamYard in general, that's fine. But if you have any questions today about audio or something like that, then let me know and just use Ask. Yes, a couple of people are saying, yep, they remember it. They're 2 cups on a string. Hey, don't discount that now. Let me look up. I think I saw a question come in. I don't see it right now, but I will do that in just a bit. So let's get to this and let's talk about different ways. Now, it kind of comes down to putting how you place the mic. So let's get into some of the tips that I have. So first of all, you want to talk into the mic. Now, again, you may think, what does that have to do with placement? It has a lot to do with it. So I'm going to demonstrate. If I'm back here talking, I've got to kind of yell for you to hear me, right? So you want to talk into the mic. Now, I don't know that you need to be exactly against the mic. And you see this a lot on podcasts. You watch video podcasts, and they're always like hugging the mic like this, like, hey, I want to ask you a question. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, for years I was on radio, and the mic was right here because it was, what is that, a dynamic mic? Is it dynamic? I always get them confused. But you want the sound right at you. The closer, well, that's my next tip. But so the next tip, I'll just jump into it, is keep the mic close to your mouth. So these kind of go hand in hand. So you want to definitely talk into the mic. Now, I have my mic on a boom arm. I have a boom arm here. I have a mic stand. We're going to show you all that to show you some different ideas. But, excuse me, you want to talk into the mic. So the reason I bring that up as a tip is because wherever you end up placing your mic, you want to make sure that you are as close to it as possible. So let's talk about booms right now. Have you ever seen this? Probably you have. I mean, it's a shot from, I don't know, some show, some movie or something like that. And the guy with the black shirt that looks like he is straining, not the guy in the gray sweatshirt who's just kind of walking around, but the guy in the black sweatshirt, this is a bigger production. Now, it could be TV, doesn't matter. That's a big boom pole on a boom arm, and they've got a dedicated sound and stuff like that. And the reason I show you this is because if you are going to use a boom, you want to make sure, and this is the way I roll. This is the way when I'm shooting, if I'm using a boom, I always boom the mic from the top. So let me see if you can see. Can you see this right here? So notice now, right now I'm using this mic, but if I were using this mic here, I tell you what, let me change my mic source just so you can hear it. Where is it? Okay, now you should be hearing this mic right here. So it's out of frame, meaning you can't see it. The edge of the mic is right here. It's right here. So it's on a small boom arm coming off of my camera. Now, I'm using a camera that has a clean HDMI out. So right now, my mic is connected to the camera, and so the HDMI cable is bringing the sound with it. This was my setup for quite a while until I went to this mic. And the reason I like it is because if you want a clean shot like this, I'm pretty close to the mic. I mean, I'm like, what would that be? That's only a few inches away from the mic. It's just out of shot. And now this mic you can adjust the sound to, but this is a boom arm. This is no really different than this, other than that boom and that arm cost a lot. And I don't know how much they were paying the dude there to hold it up. But the concept is the same. The concept is exactly the same, where it's booming. And these boom arm guys, you can pick these up on Amazon for, I mean, 10, 15 bucks, 20 bucks. Almost any brand will have them. You just want to make sure they tighten down. So that's very important, but that allows me to get closer to it. Now, I'm going to switch my my mic back to this one. Now, I don't know if you saw in the shot, but this one is also on a boom arm. Let me go back to the point I want to make about this one. I am a fan of, well, and just like in this shot, if you notice where the boom is coming up and over, pointing down. Now, I realize that they're probably not shooting anything right now, but they're getting ready to. And the reason that's important is because if you have a boom arm under a person, under you, and you've got a high ceiling, you're outside, you're going to capture all that sound. So if you look at this, if I were using this mic, I'm talking on this one right now, but if I were using this mic, you notice I have it coming up and down just a little. I also have a video one stand over here. It's just basically a lot of gear on one stand I can roll around. Same thing. My mic there is on a small boom arm. So you definitely don't need anything like this. But if you put your mic on a boom, and there ain't nothing wrong with that, make sure you get it close to you and close to your mouth so you can speak in the boom. Does that make sense? So you can speak into the mic. So that is a tip, is put a mic on a boom arm. I want to say that's probably one of the most traditional, is that fair? One of the most ways you see most people doing it. And it doesn't have to be something like this at all. If you can see this right here, you notice this. This is a boom arm right here. The mic stays on it. What I like about this boom arm, you know, it stays when I leave it. So this is also considered a boom arm. Now, I preference have this down here like this. Stop. Now, as soon as I say it doesn't move, it starts moving. I have this set down and coming out. I could also boom this down. And I've used a Blue Yeti on this before, so I boomed it down. I've used different mics. But personally, I would always go with a boom mic because it frees up your hands. Now, granted, you know, if you look at this, I mean, you see my boom arm coming out like this, right? So there's always the chance I'm going to bump it, which I have before. There's less chance I'm going to bump this one up here. But either way, these are booms. This boom is more than that. Now, you could rig up something like that for this shot. It might just be a little harder. But that'll, again, if you look at this goes to my first two tips. I'm talking into it, and I'm getting as close to it as possible. Now, that's probably not totally accurate. I'm not completely, I mean, this is close to it. But it's a good distance for a good sound. So hop in the comments and see, we got anything, let me see. Why do people talk so much before getting to the meat of the matter? I usually leave the filter. Well, okay. Sorry. Should have filtered that. I don't know. That's a good question. Is Mike Brand, here we go. Just as Mike Brand really important for better audio? That is a great question. I do not feel like you have to spend a ton of money on fancy gear. Now, sometimes you're going to get what you pay for. But let me show you. In fact, let me show you the difference here. This mic is far more expensive than this mic. This is a Samsung Q2U. This mic right here is just under $70. Fantastic mic, has an XLR and a USB. And if you don't know really what that is, it's just different kinds of connections you can use. This is a USB mic. This one is more visual. But yeah, you can get really, really cheap mics, and you may have interference, especially if you go wireless. You may have staticky. It may just not sound that good. I mean, I've tried out a lot of different mics. There are some mics that some creators swear by that I just don't like. Couple of big brands out there that when I tested them, I just didn't like the sound. So what I'm saying is you don't have to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars to have a good sound. But if you buy a $10 mic, that might be something to think about. Somebody's asking what Canon camera I'm using. These are both Canon M50s Mark II. Somebody's talking about pop filters. Yeah, pop filters are good. And he's talking about plosives, which I don't have one on this. So this mic actually has one built into it. And there's a lot of mics that Rode has one, Elgato has one, and they're built into them. I think Yeti, the Blue Yeti, not the Yeti, that's the cooler. Blue Yeti does. Those are good. You may have seen, it looks like a little windscreen a lot of times on top of this. That's called a pop filter, and plosives are the P's. Those are good. I just choose not to use one at all. See, we got somebody saying, good question here. Did I miss it here? Smart Up Travel. Good question here. What's the best headphones with a microphone to stream with? You know, that is a great question. I use these little, I don't even have them in now. When I'm live streaming with just me, and I don't have a guest on or something like that, I don't use my my earphones because I'm not worried about audio. I'm not worried about echo and things like that. I tend to use these, I think is it Mevo or whatever, but they're clear, they clip in, they go around the ear and back. I haven't experimented a lot about headphones with mics. I think you could look up gaming headsets. That's typically it. Now, this is a personal thing, guys. This is totally personal. I'm not a fan of watching videos where people have what looks like the fast food headset. And again, that's a personal thing. But at the same time, I've watched many video podcasts. I was just watching one the other day that Peter McKinnon was on with the guy that does unboxing therapy. And, they're both sitting around with the headphones. In fact, McKinnon even talked about, wow, how amazed it is. So I would just, it's a good question, but I would just do your research and look for reviews. Might just be something to think about. Somebody saying they use the Rode NT1 because it comes with a built-in. Yep, that's true. Now here's the other thing too, and this isn't really about placement, but none of my mics are being EQ'd. None. Somebody may go, dude, you really need to. I will EQ and do audio sometimes in post when I'm editing. So like I edit on Final Cut Pro, and I may tweak the audio there, put an effect on it or something like that. But my audio coming right back out is just straight on. The brand of the clear headphone is, I believe it's Mevo. I think that's it. It's Mevo. Let me see. I got them right here. It is Me. Actually, look for this. Look for this brand right there. And this is what they look like. They're clear, long cord. Some of the cords that come with these are very small, short, so you may get an extension. And I've never noticed that doesn't change anything. So now I do have headphones, like over the ear headphones. In radio we used to call them cans. And those are Bose. I got them. They were a closeout deal at Best Buy a few years ago, and I way underpaid. And those are sweet. The cord's about this long. It's just insane. So other tips. So we're talking about some of the things to do, like talk into the mic, like keep the mic close to your mouth, like put the mic on a boom arm. And again, this is a boom arm. This is a boom arm, and you can change how the boom arm is attached. So like this boom arm right here is attached to my desk because I have an electric standing desk. So my camera and my mic and my lights, whether I'm sitting or standing, they don't change. And that was important to me. So I can swing this out and swing it back. Another option is put the mic on a stand. Now, there's good and bad about this. So you got to know this going in, but it ain't a bad thing. I mean, but it's not like if you got it on a stand, don't use that. So I'm going to switch mics right now to this mic. Just give me 1 second. 1 second. All right. So I'm going to switch my, and it's fairly easy to do this. Okay. Now I'm talking to this mic. Hello, can you hear me? So I'm going to swing this one out of the way. See? So let me show you this. If you noticed, it's up and it's over and it's out of the way. And again, that's the advantage to having a boom arm that is flexible. This boom arm is not, I mean, I can tighten this, but I have it set so it doesn't move. Same thing on my one stand. I don't want it to move. I can move into the mic, right? This one, though, I can move up and down. But now we're going to talk about this. So another tip is put your mic on a stand. Now, a lot of the stands that like this mic came with a stand, and I'm just going to be straight up. As cool as this mic is, and you can hear me all right, right? You can hear me on this mic. This is the Samsung Q2U. I'm not trying to sell you a mic. It's just it's a sweet mic. Give me a thumbs up or a yeah if you can hear this mic right here. And what do you think about it? What do you think about the sound versus the other one? So one of the things that I like about this mic is it's affordable. It comes with an XLR. It comes with a USB connection. Right now I'm using a USB connection going into a hub. But the mic stand is horrible. I mean, absolutely horrible. Yeah, look at that. Sounds fine. Yeah, yes, love it. It's horrible. It's cheap plastic. It's short. So one of the things that I did is when I use this, I got a different mic stand, and I'll show you here. Now, this might be a little overkill, but I'm going to show you what I did. So notice this is the mic stand. Here, I'll do this. That's the mic stand right here. And then I put what's called a I forgot I'm using this, but a shock mount on this. Because if you use a desk mic, and there's nothing wrong with that. Again, remember our tips. You want to talk into the mic. You want to get close to the mic, right? So this stand I have is much taller. It's made of metal, which I like. And it's got this shock mount on here. Now, probably this whole thing was, I don't know, 20 bucks maybe. 2 different pieces. But the thing about a shock mount is, well, the thing about a desk mic is if you have a mic that is sitting on your desk and you don't have anything to absorb it, it's going to pick that up. There's nothing wrong with this placement. And you can see, you've seen this a lot of times where people will put their mics on their desks like this, right? And there's nothing wrong with it. What I would recommend is get a little taller mic stand. And this is just one. You can get, what is it? The Shure, there's a big, heavy duty one, you know, it's like, it takes 2 people. That's my sound effect. It takes 2 people to move it. I'm just joking. But what I would recommend is if you're going to put your mic on a mic stand, which is a way to place it for good audio, talk close to it, get it close to your mouth, point it as close to your mouth as possible. Now, you know, earlier when I was talking about a boom always booming down, if you notice, I'm not coming under my mouth and going up. So more of the sound is going to be directed right here. But if you do that, what I would recommend is maybe getting a mic stand that has some absorption in it, or a shock mount or something like that. You can pick them on Amazon. They're just not that much, but it's really, really nice. But the reason I wanted to show you this, because this is another way of using a mic, is put it on a stand. So right now, again, there's nothing wrong with this. One of the reasons I don't do this is because I tend to use my hands a lot, and I would bump it, and I hit the table a lot, and I prefer booms. But there ain't nothing wrong with that either. So I'm going to switch back to this mic. And I'll tell you what, we're going to do this and you can see the difference right here. I mean, see, there's more space under here than there is here. But let's switch back to my Shure mic. Boom. We're back. We're back. Not that we went anywhere, but all right. So here we go. One more tip I wanted to share with you is for mic placement is use the lav, wired or wireless. Now, one of the things I was going to do today is these are the Rode Wireless Go 2. Come on, focus, baby. There we go. I was actually going to use these, and then I realized that because I had the boom set up, I couldn't. But this is another way, and you can call it mic placement. So, you know, and again, you could do, I mean, there's a lot of different brands out here. I just like Rode a lot. But you can clip this on, and you could run this into a soundboard. So this is the, which one? So this is your transmitter. So the mic. So there's actually a mic built into this, but again, you don't have to have this brand. You could actually use a lav mic that is wireless too. And then the receiver you want to plug into either a soundboard, or remember how my boom mic is connected via HDMI. You could do the same thing with a wireless. So if you were to do that, again, making sure that, you know, it's as close to you as you can. I'm not. So like right there. Now, if you want to hide it, you could tape this under you. You could use a clip-on mic. I mean, it's like this. I mean, why would I go to this again? Why would I go to the trouble of hiding this if you can see this, right? I think on live streaming, it doesn't matter as much. So, but I mentioned that because I think a lot of folks think of these kinds of mics. They think of, you know, maybe this mic or this mic or this mic, and that's fine. But you can also use a lav and a wireless. Again, the same thing applies. If you're using a wireless, you don't want to put it way down here on your shirt. You know, you don't want to put it flapping out here on a jacket, because then it's going to catch everything here. You can hide it. And if you didn't know this, you can also put the mic under your shirt or blouse or whatever you have on. Just make sure, like, you know, if you got a necklace or something, it's just not constantly rubbing on something, because otherwise you'll get that scratch. So tips to reemphasize: talk into the mic. There's nothing worse than not talking into the mic so people, they need to hear you. And when you do that, keep the mic close to your mouth. Now, again, whether you're using a boom pole, mic stand, as close as you can get it to your mouth is going to be better. It's just going to be better sound. Put the mic on a boom arm. Again, you can, the boom arm I'm using is a Rode boom arm. There's newer boom arms out there. What I have found, sometimes somebody was asking a few minutes ago about mic quality on prices. What I have noticed personally is sometimes the cheaper the boom arm, the noisier, because they have the springs and you hear them, even though this one's starting to get a little noise in it. And also they don't stay. One of the things, if you've noticed, I have not touched this boom arm the whole time. It stays exactly where I want it. And that I absolutely love. Put the mic on a stand. All the other rules apply. Keep it close to your mouth and talk into it. And if you don't like any of those, you can use a lav or wired or wireless. And it's just about getting closer to your mouth at that point. So we have any questions coming in here? Somebody's saying XLR or USB mic. You know, I've used both. A USB is just easy. I don't have to go through like a soundboard. I don't have a soundboard. There was one I saw I was going to get, and it just kept me back ordered. I'm a fan, if I'm live streaming, of just using USB and plugging it in. Occasionally you can maybe get some lag or something like that. I haven't seen anything that's actually bothered me. Christian, I think we know here. Should we keep the mic in the shot or out of frame? Do you have any recommendations? That's a great question. And here's the thing. It comes down to preference. I think sometimes, so like, for example, when I was using this mic right here, you know, if I take this out, you don't see the mic at all. Is it distracting? Don't know. I think now more and more people are used to seeing video podcasts where you see the mic. I personally think, and somebody said this earlier, if, you know, content is important, you got to hear me, but the content is important. I personally believe if you see the mic, even clipped on, I was watching a video the other day. Now I watch for things like this, and I saw the mic clipped here, and then all of a sudden I'm looking at the mic. But you know what? I think most people out there won't even see it. So I would say don't worry about it. It might add to the shot. I mean, it looks kind of cool in a way. So I'm gonna date myself. Did anybody ever watch Letterman? The Late Show with Letterman, not his new show on Netflix. You ever watched Letterman? Wasn't Letterman or yeah, I think it was Letterman. There was a mic on his desk and it was fake. It was totally fake. I think it was Letterman. Or was it Carson? Anyway, one of these guys had an old looking mic. I've got a replica back there, but it's not from them. And it was fake. It was a prop, but it looked cool on the desk. So should you see the mic or not? Totally a preference thing. Somebody's asking about stereo. Well, you know, it's going to get processed the way it comes through. So the way that these mics work is going to take your sound and it's going to process it through to send out. A lot of that may be based on the service you're using, like YouTube or Facebook, you know, because like, for example, some people don't know that Facebook, unless you're a gamer, is going to cap your video at 720p. So why try and live stream to Facebook in 4K? Nobody's ever going to see it like that. That's a classic. Yeah. There's so many different things you can do with different mics and different setups. So again, the key would be getting close to your mouth, talking into the mic. You decide, Christian, great question, though, whether you want to see the mic or not. Is there a preference? Is there a right or wrong? There isn't. It's a preference thing. If somebody is ragging on you because they can see your mic, they probably aren't paying attention to your content. That's just my take. I think now the way things have gone, we're just more accustomed to seeing mics. We just are. And again, there's a difference in what you're doing. If you're doing a presentation, you're doing a live show like this, you're doing a video, you know, like a lot of times when I'm shooting videos with my one stand, I use the mic on the boom arm. You never see it. But if I'm doing something on the computer, I'll use this mic. It's just easier. So sometimes it comes down to that as well. Yeah, James just saying I use a shotgun mic. It helps with ambient noise and keeps it out of my way. That's a good point. I mean, you know, this mic right here is never going to get in my way like this one would. I just decided to change mics. It's one of the things I do, and they're different kinds of mics. This mic is a Rode mic, and it also is a USB, so you can use it into your computer. It plugs right into the camera. So there's different kind of mics, which is a whole different show about doing different things too. So, so I hope this helped you. If by the way, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do, because all the time we are doing more and more shows like this, like Ask StreamYard. And remember, if you ever have a question you would like the community to know about that maybe gets featured, make sure wherever you ask it, you use hashtag Ask StreamYard. And by the way, we'd love it if you join the Facebook community. All you got to do is search StreamYard community in Facebook. It is excellent, excellent, excellent. Next week, Mel will be here, and she's going to be talking about, I got to look at my notes, how to integrate StreamYard Lives into your content strategy. That is good. I use StreamYard for everything. I use StreamYard for live, for recording, for video podcast. It is just that good. I hope you guys got a lot out of this. I hope you live stream wherever you are. And I'll see you in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. But anyway, we're here every week for Ask StreamYard. Make sure you like this. If you liked it, even if you didn't, go ahead and like it anyway. Just make us feel good. And subscribe to the channel. I'm Kevin Kolbe. Keep using your gifts and make an impact in the world. Peace out.